The captivating and contentious narrative of human evolution, a subject of intense scrutiny in modern science, presents an epic tale that continues to reveal astounding discoveries, with each chapter unveiling new insights into our ancient past. This narrative, akin to a page-turning historical novel, is replete with intrigue, mystery, and the unraveling of secrets that have shaped the course of human history. One intriguing facet of this rich narrative is the emergence of a previously unknown human species, the Denisovans, close relatives of the Neanderthals, who coexisted with our own ancestors and left a lasting genetic legacy among populations in East Asia and Oceania. Initially known only from a few fossil remains, the Denisovans share a close relative status with Neanderthals, although the exact timing of their split from the lineage, leading to Homo sapiens, is still a matter of debate. Estimates suggest this divergence occurred around 800,000 years ago, with their separate lineages becoming distinct by approximately 600,000 years ago. However, the presence of both Neanderthal and Denisovan DNA in living human populations hints at numerous instances of interbreeding between these lineages. When modern humans expanded into Eurasia between 70,000 and 50,000 years ago, interbreeding between the three lineages seems to have been inevitable. This intermingling resulted in approximately 20% of the Neanderthal genome surviving in various populations, with Eurasian populations carrying Neanderthal DNA in up to 4% of their genome. Denisovan ancestry is more prevalent in populations in Asia and Oceania, being found particularly significantly in the genomes of Aboriginal Australians, Neo-Oceanians, Polynesians, Fijians, East Indonesians, and Mamanwa. Lower levels of Denisovan ancestry have also been detected in populations on the East Asian mainland, as well as in Siberian and Native American populations. In addition to interactions between Neanderthals and Denisovans, there is evidence of interbreeding events, or intraspecies hybridization, between the Denisovans and even older, unknown human lineages, known as super-archaic humans. These mysterious beings are known only through the genetic traces they've left behind in living populations. The first hints of the existence of super-archaic humans were discovered in 2014, when scientists examining the genomes of Neanderthals and Denisovans found discrepancies best explained by a scenario in which Denisovans had, at one point, come into contact with an unknown human species that had split from the rest of the human lineage between 0.9 and 4 million years ago. This indicates that these mysterious beings were distantly related to Denisovans, yet still human enough to pass on their genes. Further evidence of interbreeding between super-archaic humans and Denisovans was detected in 2020, with scientists uncovering additional supporting signals in more genomes from Neanderthals, Denisovans, and living human populations. This study also found indications of an even older interbreeding event between the common ancestors of the Neanderthals and Denisovans, the Neandersovans, and the super-archaics hundreds of thousands of years earlier. This event would have occurred at least 600,000 years ago, with the super-archaics diverging from all other human lineages around 2 million years ago. This study estimated the population size of the super-archaics to have been relatively large, between 20 to 50,000 individuals. However, the question of who these super-archaics were remains a mystery. Evidence suggests that at least 2 populations of super-archaics were involved in the interbreeding events. The first occurred in the Neandersovans, while the later event involved a deeply divided subpopulation of the super-archaics. It's possible that the super-archaics were members of the first wave of humans to leave Africa, descended from the original human settlers of Eurasia, that made it here long before the most recent colonization of the world by Homo sapiens. The earliest human expansion out of Africa that we currently know of for certain was undertaken by Homo erectus, or something very much like it. A very archaic species, such as Homo erectus, which appeared around 2 million years ago, might be the culprit for these ancient interbreeding events. These super-archaic possible descendants of early Homo erectus migrations out of Africa must have been inhabiting Eurasia for hundreds of thousands of years, and were probably mostly isolated from other human populations in Africa. Since the initial discoveries, more evidence of interbreeding events involving archaic humans has come to light. In 2020, geneticists found signs of influence from archaic humans in the genes of modern African populations, indicating some other kind of human species may have interbred with the ancestors of all living humans before the most recent out-of-Africa migration. Another study calculated that a total of 4 megabases, a unit of measurement for DNA length, from these superarchaics has been passed on to modern populations. However, not all researchers agree on the interpretation of these genetic signals. In 2023, a paper was published suggesting that a long history of Homo sapiens populations migrating and breeding with each other across different regions of Africa for significant lengths of time can explain what had been interpreted by other researchers as contributions from archaic humans. This model of human population history shows that our species, in its modern form, did not have a single origin at one particular point in Africa. Instead, we can trace our origins back to a number of different connected stem populations located across the African continent. These populations came together and fragmented at different points in time, ultimately leading to the population structures seen in modern-day Africa. Recent research has added even more complexity to the story of human evolution. In 2021, a study used a different model of genetic analysis and found that all modern humans are in fact the product of a major interbreeding event between 2 deeply diverged hominin lineages that took place about 300,000 years ago. This research again found that a major hybridization event best explains the genetic signals in living populations, and calculated that a super-archaic human species that had separated from others about 1.5 million years ago contributed to around 20% of the ancestry of all modern people. However, this study does not discount the hypothesis that some much more recent interbreeding events in Africa might have occurred too, potentially within the last 150,000 years, and suggests that such recent introgressions might even explain some of the results from their model of analyzing the genetic data. So there could, indeed, have been even more mystery archaic humans in Africa within the past 150,000 years that were passing on some of their genes to the ancestors of modern populations. In Asia and Oceania, another unknown population of archaic humans appears to have been present around the time that the ancestors of modern humans arrived in the region. This unknown archaic human lineage was detected by researchers who published their findings in January of 2019. While it's related to the Neanderthal and Denisovan lineage, it's not quite Denisovan or Neanderthal in nature. We do know for a fact that some truly super-archaic human species were living in Southeast Asia up until relatively recently, with direct fossil evidence of their remains discovered, such as Homo floresiensis, commonly nicknamed the Hobbits, who lived on the island of Flores in Indonesia from around 1 million to maybe 50,000 years ago. The story of human evolution continues to unfold with new discoveries, raising more questions than answers. The identity of the super-archaic humans and other archaic human populations remains a mystery, with much more research needed to uncover the truth. One thing is certain. Our species' past is far more complex than we once thought, and our understanding of human evolution is continually evolving. Each new discovery sheds light on the intricate tapestry of our past, revealing the rich diversity of hominin species that have walked the earth, intermingled, and left their genetic imprint on the modern human population. The narrative of human evolution is a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and interconnectedness of life on our planet. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of our ancestry, we are uncovering a rich and complex history of our species. The Denisovans, Neanderthals, and super-archaic humans are just a few examples of the diverse hominin species that have coexisted and interbred throughout our history. These findings challenge our traditional understanding of human evolution, leading us to reconsider our place in the world and our connection to the other species that have walked the earth. The narrative of human evolution is a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and interconnectedness of life on our planet, and a reminder that our understanding of our past is continually